All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the citizens of YouTube. Got a few things I want to talk to you about for a second. The other side of the story. In case somebody didn't tell you, or in case you was not informed, there's always two sides of every story. So when you cut on the news media, especially from here in America, it makes no difference if it's Fox, CNN, NBC, CBS, and you go all the way down the line. You'll hear a story, and slightly, just very little, they would may deviate or different from each other, but they pretty much still say the same. But however, then if you cut on this YouTube or you look at other alternative news sources, you get a different perspective of what the real truth of the story is. And that's been our problem here in America. We've only had one side of the story ever presented to us, and we believed the story that they told us. I've had the opportunity in my little short life that I've been living to live outside of America for quite a few years. And there is a total different perspective on things than what we see on TV. You see, American TV and our school systems, it shapes our historical view. It shapes our thinking, the way that we think. It determines for us what is truth and what is not. So until you exercise self-autonomy and you start to think what is called outside of the box, in other words, you start using independent thinking, you pick up other stuff and you start reading it and you see what his perspective is, and then you make an intelligent, informed decision on what you're going to believe. That's the only way you're going to get to the truth. Because, there's one thing about truth. Truth is very, very, very painful. And truth is often a very, very hard, and I mean very hard pill to swallow. The truth is, when you have been believing lies for so long, there's something inside of you that actually fights, it opposes the truth. And you don't want to hear it. Because the one thing about truth, truth requires change. And that's the one thing that we here in America don't want to do. We're comfortable with our environment. We're comfortable with the way that things are. And it's going to take a forceful, catastrophic situation, whether it be social, political, economic, or financial. It makes no difference. It's going to take one of those things to really come down hard upon your world before you change. And then it will be a forced change. Then it'll be too late for you. Because you have not prepared yourself. At least one thing about being informed. When you're prepared or when you are informed, at least you have direction on what to do. And a little bit more knowledge previous than what you had before. So what I'm saying in a nutshell here this morning to you is never take just one viewpoint. Never take just one side of the story. I don't care who they are. When we have a friend or relative or somebody who we're fond of, we're inclined to believe them first. And it's been our behavior pattern in this society. But we never, ever, ever really listen to both sides of the story. We need to develop an attitude to where we hear out both sides of the story and be swift to hear and slow to speak. So you cannot believe everything that this government that is set up in front of you here in America says, because that's not the real government. I know it may be an eye-opening, eye-popping revelation to some of you, but it's just the truth. Now, you can't even fight against that unless you're willing to get out and do the research, to do your due diligence, to find out and see if what I'm saying is no. And that's one thing about people who lie to you. People who lie to you don't want you to go and check out the truth. They don't want you to expand the regions of your minds. They don't want you to look at things from another perspective. They're comfortable right where they are, and they don't want you whatsoever at all, nothing whatsoever at all. They don't want you to discover that you've been lied to, because we've gotten to the point here in this society that we've lied to ourselves about everything. We've been lied to. We've lied to ourselves about everything, and we're comfortable in our lies. Now, as far as me, that kind of disturbed me greatly. I didn't like being lied to, and I don't like being lied to. So excuse me if I'm very pessimistic, and I don't believe a thing that the government says, or this TV says, or anything that the news media says, and especially Christian churches. I don't believe a thing that they say, because I've done the due diligence and the research, and I found out one thing that all of them have in common. All of them love lies, they live lies, and they embrace lies. So the majority of your fight in your life, when you start embracing truth, is all the people who want to fight to keep you in darkness, fight to keep you in a lie. And that's the truth. So nobody ever wants to face their accusers, because that's not the way the system is set up. Nobody ever wants to actually have a civil, open dialogue over the truth, and because of the truth. Because they're refusing to change, because, as the old scripture says, though, men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds are evil continually, all the time.